His ankles were tied together with a cord. He wore a plaid long-sleeved shirt, trousers, and a brassiere stuffed with plastic cups. At the base of the tree were a belt with a holster containing an air pistol resembling a revolver, a Bowie knife with scabbard, and a pair of women's sandals. His mother permitted a search of his room, where 2 dolls were found under his bed. first was a Barbie doll with a strip of cloth around the breast imitating a brassiere, a strip of cloth representing a skirt, and a jacket. The arms of the jacket were tied together with string at the level of the wrists. The doll's wrists were also tied together with a piece of string. One end of a 10-inch piece of red yarn was wrapped around the doll's neck. The other doll, dressed to imitate a male, wore a plaid jacket and jeans. Attached to a belt around its waist was a cloth holster with a revolver. The same type of red yarn that was around the neck of the first doll extended over the second doll's shoulder and was tied to a scabbard containing what represented a bowie knife. The victim, a 17-year-old white male, was found partially suspended by the neck, feet touching the floor, by a rope attached to a pipe positioned across an opening to his attic. His body was nude, and his hands were loosely bound behind his back. The police searched the room in which he had died and found an expensive 35mm camera containing a roll of undeveloped film. The film, developed by the police, depicted the victim in several sexual poses and in one previous asphyxial episode. A photographic negative found in the room documented yet another previous hanging episode and had been altered by the victim by piercings through the nipples. The police also discovered sketches depicting females in poses approximating the victim's position at death and in his previously photographed episodes and showing piercings of the nipples. In searching the attic of the victim's room, the police discovered the following items: 6 socks that had been cut, several lengths of rope with knots in them, a bicycle tube with a sock tied to it, 1 pair of black rubber gloves, several pieces of black bicycle inner tube, 1 pair of blue knee pads, 1 pair of underwear attached to a t-shirt with silver duct tape and cut from the neck of the shirt to the crotch of the underwear, 1 2x4, and a segment of 1-inch electrical conduit bent in the middle. A 19-year-old was visiting his fiancée at her parents' home on the evening of his death. They had finished eating dinner when the parents decided to go shopping and invited the young couple along. The young man declined to accompany the girl and her parents, but agreed to remain at the residence to await them. Upon their return 2 hours later, they found a television set on but could not locate him in the home. They walked to the backyard swimming pool. Checking the bathhouse, they found his clothing and droplets of blood leading toward the rear of the property. They discovered the victim dead beneath the rail fence that surrounded their property. He was naked, with his buttocks on the ground. A rope tied around his neck at one end passed over the top of the fence and was attached to his ankles at the other. In his rectum was a corn cob, the insertion of which was later determined to have caused the bleeding that had led into his body. He was covered entirely in dried, caked mud. A freshly dug hole near his body contained water. A garden hose lay nearby and was connected to a faucet at the rear of the house. The reconstruction of what had occurred was that his fiancée and her parents had departed. The young man had gone to the bathhouse, disrobed, inserted the corn cob in his rectum, causing the bleeding, and taking the garden hose with him, walked to the rear of the property where he dug a hole and made mud. After covering himself with the mud, he engaged in autoerotic asphyxia, using the rope as the injurious agent. The unusual feature of this case is the victim's use of mud to cover himself. Possible explanations for the use of mud included mysophilia, attraction to filth, symbolic coprophilia, attraction to feces, and sexual bondage. As mud dries on the skin, it constricts and causes sensations of increased sexual pressure, restraint, and enclosure.
At this time, when no hot plant fires the blood, and the lunatics of Bedlam themselves are just abroad, that you should run mad, sir, is less a subject for your friends' pity than their wonder. 'Tis true, love is a natural addiction, a kind of smallpox. One either hath had it or is to expect it, and the sooner the better. Oh, what the heavens, love! Oh, what a hell.
The Meeks Commission on Pornography missed the drowning of the girls on network television. Whenever I see a drowning or strangling for that matter, I go crazy. I can go up to a maximum of 6 orgasms in one day over a period of several days. And be all wound up around seeing a girl drown on television. And you might ask why. And you might ask why. I don't know exactly what the cause is. I don't know exactly what the cause is. But there's a name for my illness. It's called paraphilia. Philia meaning love, and para meaning beyond normal, bizarre, or unacceptable. And there's lots of paraphilic disorders. But my exact one is called asphyxiophilia, which means I'm obsessed and addicted to strangling and drownings and orgasms in my fantasies. And before I was put on medication, I would literally strangle myself with women's dance tights. And you might ask why. And you might ask why. I don't know exactly what to call it. And you might ask why. I don't know exactly what to call it. I don't know exactly what to call it. But I've had this problem with girls getting murdered by drowning and strangling since I was very little. Say age 10. And it's a bitch. I went through 15 doctors before I found the right one who knew what I was talking about and knew what kind of medication to use. But I still have the nightmares, and I still have the orgasms, and I still lose control and have to watch the drowning on TV. And it keeps me to get away from it. That's why. Why? Keep us away from it. That's why. Keep us away from it. Well, it goes like this. Though I don't know the exact cause, when I see a girl get drowned, I go crazy. I have butterflies in my stomach, I have pressure of some kind on my temples, and they seem to get hot. And I sometimes smell something burning. I get panicked. I feel some kind of and then my heart rate goes up to 120 per minute. I sweat sometimes, and I get the runs. I have to go all the time. And then I masturbate over and over and over and over, yes, over and over and over, yes. 6 times a day over a period of days. And the fantasies are like drowning in the soul. And I wish you could videotape it and watch it over. And I have the head rush of that sweeping liquid feeling that goes through my brain when I see it drowning. And the whole thing is crazy. And I breathe heavy. And I have asthma. I have to use my inhaler to breathe normally again. And I might not sleep for days on end, and I'm in a constant state of fear and agitation, and I can't eat, and there's gases in my stomach, and I'm always thirsty, but I do not drink water. My chest even hurts, and I ache all over. And it's all because of the drowning girl that I saw on TV. Now that last drowning I saw, I wish I hadn't, was on the harmless new hit series, Matlock, which stars Andy Griffith. The series was fine until one day I saw a commercial advertisement, next episode of Matlock. And the narrator said that somebody puts a girl in a hot tub, and they show this girl in the hot tub with the surgeon circulating water. Somebody comes up from behind, grabs her by the shoulder, and pushes her under. That commercial showed just a few seconds of that scene, and I freaked out. I was obsessed with Matt Hawk coming Tuesday night. And the girl getting drowned. And the idea, of course, would be to take it and watch it over and over, over and over, over and over. But I didn't set up for that. Oh, no. I'm not going to be tricked. I will not watch it. I mean, I do have a will of my own. I do have a will of my own. Well, I was already masturbating to the commercial segment. My doctor lives 1,000 miles away. He's one of the very few doctors in the world who knows of my kind of problem. And there's none anywhere in my state. I've never seen him, only photos of him. And when he was on Huntington. All the therapy that's been done has been done on the phone for the past 2 years. But I get my weekly shots locally. So I was unable to just fly to him. I don't really even see him. I said, I have a will of my own. I have a will of my own. I have a will of my own. Don't I? Don't I? Don't I? Don't I?
I will not speak with her.
She is unfortunate, indeed distressed. Who will need me to speak?
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father. Says she gives the tricks of the world, and hands, and beats her heart. For as immediately it draws, says things endowed to carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it does move the hearers of reflection. Get on it. Thoughts are worth without his or other thoughts. Which has no meanings, nods, gestures, humor. Indeed would make one think there might be thought. But nothing sure. Not so happy. Children she was comforted, for she made too dangerous objections to the human eyes.
Let her come in. My sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great abyss, so full of artless jealousy and guilt. It fills himself and fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I go travel from another one by his cocoa hat and staff and his slender shoes?
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Nay, pray you not. He is dead and gone, he is dead and gone. As in days of last winter, as his years go.
Nay, but
Pray you not. White his shroud and
alas, don't hear my lord.
Lord, we know what we are, but we know not what we may be. God be at your table.
And see, Bob.
Pray, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morning betide, and I am laid at your window to see your Valentine. And up he rose and doffed his coat, and doffed the chain by gist and by St. Charity, laugh and cry for shame. And men will do it if they come to it, by cock they are to blame. But she, before you come for me, before you pray. And the answer, so will I come, I understand. And now that's not come to my head.
Wasn't she the first?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. Yet I cannot choose but weep to think they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night. Sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow us close. Give a good watch, I pray.
I was able to fight off the temptation of the show and the commercial into the night before the show was to be on. I made the terrible mistake of taking the bath. And when I got up out of the tub and dried myself off, I was obsessed. And this was at 9:15 p.m. Monday night. I sat in front of the television set and waiting for the commercial to show the girl in the hot tub again. This was on the NBC network. And so there I sat, and finally they showed another commercial for Matlock. It was a little different this time. They showed a still picture of the girl in the hot tub. And then the film started to roll, and the guy pushes her under. They showed a close-up of his hand trying to reach under the tub. And that was it. I did not sleep all night. Wasn't happy. Wasn't happy. Wasn't happy. From the moment I got out of the tub, I was hit by all those feelings. The butterflies, the hot, pressured temples, the gas, the asthma, the heart rate, that feeling in my penis. And then I knew I had lost it. All day Tuesday while I was at school, I was in misery. I go to college, you see. And so, an hour before the show, Matlock starts. There I was, masturbating right in front of the television. And I didn't get an orgasm until I was well into the middle of the show. Then the show of Matlock comes on. And they show the killer pushing the girl into the hot tub. And her hand tries to grab hold of the ground. This is just a preview before the show even starts.